What's up guys, Dave Wanted 797 here. So Apple had their Spring Forward event on Tuesday morning, my time, about 4 a.m. Where they revealed new MacBook, Apple TV got a price cut to $69, and of course they showcased the new Apple Watch. The new MacBook is essentially MacBook Air with no ports. It has a new design that makes it thinner than the MacBook Air. It's fanless, and its logic board is now ridiculously small, and it has a Retina display, which is good. It has 256 gigs of flash storage, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and a 1.1 gigahertz Intel Core M processor. Really? Anyway, it now comes in silver, space grey, and the hideous gold that the iPad and the iPhone come in. Now the watch, it comes in the three versions, the Apple Watch Sport and the Apple Watch, and of course the Apple Watch Edition. Now the watch has an 18-hour battery life. It tracks your fitness, of course, and it compares with your iPhone to give you all your notifications, such as calling, text messaging, Facebook notifications, all the other fantastic ones. Has 8 gigabytes of internal memory, where 2 gig can be used for storage of music and stuff like that. Has weather apps and stock apps, of course, and of course its own app store, so there'll be plenty more apps coming. Now here's what I think of the two new things. Firstly, the MacBook doesn't interest me in the slightest. It's way too underpowered for what I need to do. And yes, it's light and portable, but it's not my thing. I need something more powerful. Now, I'm not going to bash Apple about making their laptops unupgradable and ridiculously overpriced, because everyone already does that, and we all know that. The thing that gets me is that Apple is now making these laptops sort of like a smartphone. They're treating computers as if they're smartphones, where after 12 months, everyone buys another one. People don't do that with laptops. They might do it with their phone, but they don't really do that with laptops. Now I know that most consumers now don't really have the need for a computer. They've replaced that with tablets, because most consumers, all they do is, the extent of their internet usage is browsing the web, or computer usage, browsing the web, looking at photos on Facebook. So a tablet does that perfectly, and you can, touch the screen, and it's not a complicated machine. Almost impossible to break, like software-wise, that is. So I can definitely see that, but these laptops are essentially bridging the gap between what is a laptop, so sort of like a MacBook Pro. If you need a laptop, go for a powerful laptop. That you generally need a laptop for the power. If you need something portable, go for an iPad. Now, the bridging the gap thing with the MacBook Air and the MacBook that are doing is they're not good at it either. Well, they're not the best at either. They're subpar at both. They're not powerful enough to be very good at being a laptop. Yes, they've got a keyboard and a flip-out screen, but they're not portable like an iPad. So, to me, these types of laptops they don't appeal to me in any way, and I don't see why anyone. I'm sure some people might find a use in them if they want a laptop, but don't really care about the power. But to me, you may as well just buy a proper laptop that gives you some power, like a MacBook Pro with Retina display. It's only slightly thicker. Anyway, moving on from that, the watch. Now, the watch, this is something I'm a little bit torn on. So Apple has released the Apple Watch, and it's based. When I saw the price, it made me pause for a moment. Now, the watch is marketed at $349 American. That's obviously without tax. Here in Australia, with taxes, that converts to $499. Also in Australia, the most expensive Apple Watch edition is $24,000. Holy shit. Not to mention that watch has the exact same internals and is the exact same, with the exception of the gold outer casing and the gold band, as the $349 or the $499 watch that I could buy. I guess it just shows how much watchmakers and how much watches can con us out of our money just for a bit of gold. So yeah, every watch before the smart watches, all they did was tell the time and give you the date, some of them. So $50,000 watches were, big rip-off, and I guess that's how the new Apple Watch edition is following suit. Now, as for the features of the watch, there are some that I obviously think are really useless and don't appeal to me in any way. And one of them is the 8 gigabytes of storage. Now, a lot of people seem to think, oh, why is it only 8 gig? It should be more. And you get 2 gig for music. Oh, that's not enough. But why you'd want to store music on your watch, I don't know. If you're gonna, same as what I was getting at with the iPod, as I was saying, as my computer goes to screensaver. But if like I was saying, the MacBook, if you're going to go for the halfway in between, go for the thing that does the job better. If you want to listen to music, just use your iPod or your iPhone. What's the point of storing your music on your watch? You're going to have to use Bluetooth headphones anyway because the watch doesn't have a headphone jack. So you may as well Bluetooth to your phone, which you can keep in your pocket or sit in front of you, and have access to all your music if 2 gig isn't enough. So that's just one of the features I don't see a real point in. Like, I'm not going to store any music on my phone. I'm probably going to have a few apps and that's about it. Some of the features I like are the calling and notifications. This obviously makes it slightly easier so that the buzz in my pocket, I can tell what it is. I can check whether it's an important text message on my wrist, and if not, I can just ignore it and deal with it later. Of course, the calling I can use now, that's one I like for when driving. Now, if I get a call while I'm driving, I don't touch the phone, I let it go to voicemail. And I can often sometimes get to the point where I'm playing phone tag, where I call someone, I get the voicemail, they call me, get my voicemail, because I'm driving to work or something. Now, if I have a watch on my wrist, I could easily just answer the call, bam, it's already on loudspeaker, I don't have to fumble trying to get it with loudspeaker, I just continue drive, my wrist's out straight, it's got the speaker blaring their voice at me, and I can just talk straight back, and it's right in front of me. I'm not putting the phone down in the console, sorry, I just bumped the microphone, down the console away from my mouth where they can't hear me and I have to yell. And I'm not having to fumble, you know, look down while not looking while driving, which I don't do anyway. The other features I like, of course, are fitness tracking. I currently wear a Misfit Shine, which obviously tracks fitness, sort of sometimes motivates me if I'm not doing anything all day. If I see that I'm close to my goal, I'll get up and move around. I do really like the sleep tracking. Now, that's something that Apple didn't mention in the keynote, so something I need to follow up on, see if they are going to track sleep. And of course, this is probably a bit of a weird one, bit of a mundane and boring one, but I do like the faces that come on the Apple Watch, that you can change what your watch looks like, you know. Whenever I did look at watches, I never really wore watches, was that I didn't like that they were pretty plain and boring. And I always wanted the one that had, you know, 12 or 11 hands and different dials and told you 50 million different things, like ridiculous things like atmospheric pressure and stuff. It's just, I just liked that they did more than the typical time and date. So I guess I like that you can get ones, you know, you look at your watch and you see like the planets circling the sun, you see like Earth going into the sunlight, and then when the sun sets it moves down. Those sorts of things I think are just sort of cool little gimmicky things, of course, but it's just something I find fascinating, that I find cool, that I could put on my watch. So I'll end this video here. I'm sorry it's a long one. I am still torn on whether I'm going to buy an Apple Watch, but please leave your comments. I'd like to hear what you think about the Apple Watch and the new MacBook as well. Also, please hit that like button if you did like this video. You can subscribe for more, and I'm over on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, all the social medias as Wanted797. So thanks for watching. See you in the next one.